Good evening, good evening. It looks like we are good to go on the back end here. It looks like we're right at the 7 o'clock mark. It's been one heck of a busy week here on our end. I've already told a few people what we did yesterday. We had some rather interesting fun yesterday. Those in Patreon, you're going to get to see a little bit of what I got here in another week or so. I actually just put this up. I was going to pretty much go right into sales and things like that, but I've been hammered since people saw the posting on it with all kinds of folks' glitches that have been happening. And my gosh, the amount of glitches has probably went up that people are sending me notices on. Every box I have, I don't honestly get to read most of them because there's just so many coming in on a given day. I've got a couple hundred on any given day that come in. The majority of them lately are all about this glitch, that glitch, what's going on here, what's going on there. We actually put together, I had the kids read through some of them and try and get together a list of the amount of glitches. It takes up 2 full pages. So I don't know what's going on with them. Today I had a glitch that I hadn't seen before. I combined 2 items together so they could pay with one invoice. And what happened was it hung up on his end first, and he emailed me. And before I actually opened up his email, I saw the payments come in, but no shipping was collected. And not only that, they were collected on 2 different payments instead of the invoice I know I sent him. So his email, after seeing that, I read his email, and he says the invoice kept crapping out. I'll give you his words, and it wouldn't let him go through with it. Now, this is somebody I've dealt with quite a few times. He's bought a lot of money from me. And I suggested let's cancel and all this stuff, and he offered to send it to me outside after he gets the items and all this other stuff, which I'd probably trust him, but I don't want to give out information with a PayPal account and all that other stuff and have eBay come after me, or it's a setup or something. So anyway, I ended up eating it on the shipping costs, and I'm going to have eBay demand a refund on it because it's nothing that I did. And the email clearly states that he had an invoice, but it wouldn't work on their end. I explained to him that there was glitches going around since the 12th of last month. Well, way, way past that, but major amounts of glitches since the 12th of October. That's just today. The top of the notes here, and which somebody else has brought up many, many, many times to me just in the last 2 days, is when you're listing stuff. Now, mine doesn't time out. What mine does is it'll spin for just a moment. When I click post, or I'm going to submit my listings, I'll get all my listings typed in, I'll get all the photos up, get down to the bottom, and I'll click list or post or whatever the button says. I don't even honestly remember now. But and then it'll come up with, it's not you, it's us. Everything's lost. I can't even back arrow it or nothing. I got to go right back over and pop to another screen and go right back into the hub, go to the listing, and do the whole works again. And in those cases, I know people say, well, it shows up in templates or what you were working on. They don't. That's the sad part. So you have to literally go back to where you were and start all over with that listing from scratch. And in a given day, I've listed, 75 listings in a day. I was piddling around. I had a few hours, so I listed some items. It happened 3 times. That's 3 times out of 75. So 1 out of 25 times, you can't list whatever you're going to list because it always glitches out. And that was pretty bad. Again, I don't want to be bashing on eBay every day of my life, but nothing seems to be done. It's getting worse, in all honesty. Sales are back. So, again, I can't complain about that. But how many sales are we losing because of these issues? Now, if I didn't want to eat the cost and eBay's not going to pay me for it, some people may have just canceled that sale with the 0 shipping showing up. But it's somebody who's bought from me before. He sent me a really nice thank you, and he gave me a list of this and that, and contact him if I get this. And so, in all honesty, it worked out okay. Hopefully eBay gives me the 364, whatever it was on that one. They should. It's not my fault. But I've been hearing tons of things like this. Now, a Patreon, and I didn't go back in and check if she said it was okay to use her name, but let's just put this one out here too. There's more than one person that have personally contacted me who haven't been able to print a label at all through eBay. At all. Not even one label, one at a time or bulk or anything at all in months. And the 2 people that I know, I believe them without a doubt because I've talked to them for quite some time. Both are saying the exact same thing, as well as other people have been telling me this. And eBay never seems to get back with them, and when they do call again, it's still not working. They're using pirate ship. Again, that's why I say it's essential at this point to use pirate ship. or to at least have a pirate ship account or some other means. Now you can print through InkFrog, you can centralize print through a third-party app or something as well if you want. If you're running sales through Shopify, you can print from Shopify as well if your eBay's hooked up to that, because it's a central landing pad and stuff like that you can use. So there are ways around it, but eBay should be the way you ship. And somebody else, I don't want to call it a name again because I haven't asked, but in the past I could print up to like 50 invoices on a bulk shipping label, and you can't do that anymore apparently with Matt says. I'll have to ask one of the kids who does our labels and shipping, but if they're limiting it to only so many sales a day, that again, some days I have 3, 4, I think I've had 5 master scan sheets in one day, meaning I've had to print 5 separate times labels because you can't print them all at once. I can do it from somewhere else. I just can't do it from eBay. These are features that eBay has been removing from the site. Again, it makes no sense. They removed the ability, you can't look at more than 250 Terapeak searches at all in a day. If once you hit 251, they lock you out. You can't go to another screen. You can't clear out browsers. Nothing. They've blocked your IP address. The only way to go around it is a VPN. So if you've got a VPN or something like that, you can bypass eBay blocking you on Terapeak. Just to give you an FYI, for those who do it. And I search. I don't know when they instigated this because I've spent all day looking in the past. I've looked up hundreds and hundreds of items in a given day in the past. So again, this is another feature they're taking away. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It doesn't cost them anything extra unless their technology is so awful that they can't handle the amount of people looking at Terapeak, or they just don't care. They're going to charge for it, and they're just trying to figure out another way to charge you for it. So it's the only 2 options. Why would you remove a feature unless you can't handle the feature? And I've looked, I've had a couple other people look too. No one can find anywhere on eBay where they state they limit the amount of views the searches you can get on Terapeak. You could use up 10 of your searches just to look up one single item if you got to change categories, other designations in there too. One item could cost you 10 searches. So automatically it could limit you to only looking up to 75 items, 100 items. And that's just crazy that it was offered as a service. I'm an anchor store too, so I'm not a smaller store. There's only one higher store. Not as a brag, but you'd think they'd offer it to people who have volume to look it up. I'll buy 1,000, 5,000 records at a time, or a couple thousand postcards, and you might look up 400 or 500 items in one given day. You price, you look up, you scan, you do all that stuff, and it just makes no sense to limit service for things that help you list items on the site that's limiting your service. It'd be like a car dealer offering you a car with 3 tires. They're going to take the 4th one away. I mean, it's the same basic principle. You can't drive it without it, but you can't list without having the ability to look up a lot of items. If you're selling vintage and you're not up on it, you need that information to look up. And again, it makes no sense to throw a roadblock in front of a reseller's face to say, hey, you only can do this from now on. And we even tried to see and look if there was a paid version where you could use it more, and I couldn't find something integrated into eBay that would allow you to do that. So again, it was just a stupid move. Let's see. I know there's a ton of glitches. Postage and shipping seems to be the biggest ones. What I've personally seen is shipping options totally invisible or not showing up on my end, even though they're billing the customer, the buyer, for those shipping methods. Now, somebody sent me, in fact, I want to say at this point I've got 3 screenshots going over this exact topic. eBay's removed some shipping options, so we can't ship them out. But what eBay didn't do is remove them from the buyer side. So the buyer can still buy shipping methods that we're not allowed to use. So again, it's one hand at eBay doesn't know what the other hand's doing. It's like they're not even the same company. How could you not know that the buyer side has to match the seller side for options? It blows my mind that they can't get the simplest, most basic aspect of stuff that makes it easy for us. Now, I'm not even complaining from a seller side. These are issues that are affecting the buyers. I get emails all the time. What's with this, that, the other? There's just so many issues going around. People can't pay. They can't buy stuff. It's telling them that we don't ship to them, and all sorts of different things. All that the buyers like, what's going on with the platform? They can't find what they're looking for. Again, sales are rocking, sales-wise. Pretty much everybody who's been kind of messing around and diving deep into their store has been able to get the sales rolling. not everybody, but for the vast majority of people, whether you're doing sell similar or some other means, something needs to be done. What we've been doing is hammering the store. I mean, I've been doing, I hate to say it, but we've been putting in some on a daily basis. We'll put in a limited amount of recommended item specifics. I've been paying a lot of attention to the item specifics and stuff, and looking at what shows up with searches, what the item specifics are for searches and items that I sell in. So I'm doing searches with all my browser information cleared, no history, nothing. It's just a cleaned out browser to see what shows up. So it's not tied to what I've looked up before or anything else. It's a totally wiped laptop. In fact, we did it from a couple of them just to see what shows up. And there is some rhyme or reason that's showing up now based on the fact that a lot more people have put in the item specifics. I think, eventually what's going to happen, and, it happened with clothing, it happened with a lot of the other categories, the buyers will eventually figure out the best ways to find the items they're looking for. It's not the easiest way by far. It'll never be the easiest way with what eBay did, but there will be ways they'll figure out, and things will start to roll back in. I can attest right now, and I swear this is the fact, we are way up. This is like one of the busiest fourth quarters since the 28th, since I started doing sell similar right now. So our numbers are through the roof. I can't complain about sales at all on eBay right now. They're going very, very well. Again, the issue being here is, what are these glitches costing us? If our sales are good with doing all this other crap that we shouldn't have to do, sell similar and changing prices up and down $1, constantly trying to get action, I can understand fixing photos. I can understand the title and maybe, prices to adjust them, but just raising them to get action on eBay is crazy that we have to do that. Again, there's a lot more going on with what they're doing. It's a whole structural change for a lot of people to search down, to narrow down their search, I should say. So we've come to the conclusion that putting in more item specifics that aren't even needed in many cases does seem to help. And I only say this because if you've got a whole bunch of them, when somebody narrows it down by one specific item specific, trying to get rid of all the junk they're not interested in, if you're in whatever one they pick, you're going to be seen more often. That's my take on it. I've spent a lot of time trying to work it, and my numbers are staying pretty solid by messing around with stuff like this. It's the only reason I started to put them in. I've been talking with some folks, some of the same folks I've been dealing with, the self-similar that we've played around with and tested. Again, I don't want to have to fill any of those in. Trust me. If you do it by the sheet, though, if you download them, I downloaded all 6,500 of them, and I've been putting in legit, honest answers to them, and I do see a little more views, and I never look at views, but I'm looking at them to see if there's any difference. And the item specifics, the way they got them, I don't see. They want them in. There's a reason they're centering in on the searches this way. They're built something in there that ties with those, whether they can block you or show you or not show you. That's all up to them. But I hate to say it, but I do see a little difference by putting them in. I haven't got a long enough test on it to say there's more sales by doing it, but there is some more action on the account. Listing, obviously, is always the best way to get some more action on the account. Changing photos up, upgrading them, which we're starting to do here and there. We've went through every listing in our store that was up prior to, I think I'm on August 9th of 2021 of this year. So we're only a few months back. Every 24,000, maybe 24,000 of our items have all been relisted as self-similar. And again, sales have just been rocking in. Before, when I woke up, there was already 450 in just the account that I share with you. Just, from the time I went to bed. And I went to bed, I don't know, pretty late. I think I was talking to people up until like 12:30 last night. So between then and 6:45, we sold. Well, it was 453.96, I think, is the exact total. I wrote it down. It's the only reason I remember that. But so, I mean, sales were coming in, and that's just for a few hours in the dead of night. Time consideration. Some of them may have been California, so there's a difference there. But let's hop back over to the window here and see what we got. I think I'm behind on some of those as always, but I see Artie Mike at the top. I know I did see some other ones before that. Tracy, how are you doing? I think we did cover the freezing. Mine doesn't freeze, but it's the same exact error where you've got to start over from scratch on listings. That's got to be one of the most annoying ones because, we're here trying to get stuff up to get sales coming in, and it's 1 out of 25 for us crashes on us over and over and over and over again. I really get sick of seeing it's not you, it's us screen. It's annoying beyond belief. Hey, Charles, how are you doing? I think every day someone has problems with eBay glitches. It's getting to be a problem we can all do without. Have a great show, and I'll catch you in the morning. Well, thank you, Charles. Charles in the UK. ID resell. Thank you. Good to have you in. Yeah, dozens of times. Charles has had that very same one. I've had people tell me that their photos are disappearing. After they list the item, there'll be one photo sometimes. I know for sure that the shipping options are disappearing on people's stores because I've been sent screenshots. So I don't think anybody's going to go to all that trouble, especially a whole bunch of people, to send me screenshots from a whole bunch of different random people on different stores. And I've seen their store, so I don't doubt it's the case. So when your shipping options change, that's a little bit annoying. Just like them removing the shipping costs. I'm sorry, I've been petting the dog and I've got hair still probably floating around here. Yeah, I'm annoyed with the things. Again, that's why I have all the other options to ship from. Worst case scenario, I just ship from somewhere off of eBay. Anyway, it's annoying. The kids haven't said anything about any issues shipping, so maybe they don't care. It's not a big issue to them since they only do it in the mornings. But let's see where we at. Bernard Shaky, how are you doing? I'm sorry, my nose is just driving me nuts. The dog must be around here somewhere still. I can't think of one change basically they've done in the last 10 years that have helped us. There is one change, and that's the fee structure, because we save like $1,000+ every month because we're not paying for extra listings now. That's the only thing that I can think of. And what's just going to happen in my mind is they're just going to slowly raise the fees back up again. And then this time, once they get back up to a certain point, they're going to be getting the money from processing fees as well as the fees we have to pay, which will again keep increasing. I don't see any other way around it. Etsy has taken a lot of grief. If you get a chance, and me and Dom talked about this one this morning actually. If you get a chance, check out. Ina's got an article on e-commerce bites about the Etsy issue. Our Etsy store, I could see everything, so I don't know what other folks were, but I did see screenshots, so I do believe that items had been hidden on Etsy. All of you couldn't see their items at all. Etsy blamed it on ad blocker. And that's what I have an issue. That's why I haven't used promoted listings, is because of how eBay did us with the ad blocker issue. Etsy's having the same similar types of issues where it's blocking people's items. Now, they blamed it off on ad blocker, being that it's your fault for the ad blocker on your store. You just can't see them. But I've had people who don't use ad blocker whose items aren't showing up as well. I turned ours off and I still could not find certain items on Etsy. So, if you have an Etsy store, that might be of concern. You might want to read the article in all honesty. It does go into some details on what's been reported. Sales-wise, though, again, are up. eBay, I'm still hesitant to say that they won't be down. I think eBay is going to be down at the end of fourth quarter, just by what third quarter look like. Etsy, everybody else are way up. I don't think that anybody other than that's going to have issues. Amazon's been a little slow for us. I don't know about anybody else, but eBay has kept up the slack. Now, I get asked on HIP. Let me go to HIP because I've had a lot of people asking that. Now, I reached out to the GM that I've talked to. She's always been very pleasant. She is out of the loop. I was referred to another gentleman there who's supposed to be in the loop like a week ago, and I still haven't heard a single word back from them, which is troublesome to me about the sync aspect. For those who do HIP or anything else with an API, chances are you're having issues because of all the drastic changes that eBay did to the structure of the platform. So hopefully it will be fixed, but man, it's going on, more than a month. We're at, 5 weeks now, and APIs are still all over the place. I think it's January 22nd, 23rd, there's a major change coming where a lot of APIs may not work as well, which will further complicate things. That basically means if an API isn't working, your sync between those sites isn't working. I know a lot of people use list perfect, list perfectly, or something like that. I personally would never, ever, 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 ever recommend using any option to cross-list your items if it doesn't sync your items automatically. If you can't sync up and have it automatically zero quantity or end a listing on whatever site that, didn't sell the item. So let's say I'm on 5 sites and I'm running through Shopify. Shopify will manage the inventory between all 5 of those sites. So if I sell an item on, say, Walmart, and I've got it up on on 4 other sites, it will adjust the inventory to match what it sold. So if it sells on Walmart, it will deduct 1 unit from wherever else that item is listed up through Shopify's APIs. So I would never want to have to take stuff down. If you're on 5 sites and you're using whatever cross perfect or cross perfectly or whatever the heck the name of the thing is, when you go ahead and do that and you sell it on, say, Walmart, and you don't have anything that automatically syncs, you've got to go fairly quickly, if it's a hot item, to every one of the other 4 sites and take that down or change the quantity. If you sell 50 items a day, you're going to have to go to 4 other sites, for each one of those 50 items to take them down if you're cross-listing that way. And that's where the problem is, and that's why I don't ever want to use something that doesn't automatically sync my items. I never want to have to worry about double selling something, forgetting about taking something down, which happens to everybody I've known that's had to do that. I just got hit up today by somebody in a Patreon, and that's exactly what happened. They double sold the item within a day's time. They forgot to take it down. End of story is they double sold something they don't have, and they're going to have to probably take a ding on the item if they can't sweet talk the person into not being as mad as it sounds like they are right now. I would give up, anything else to keep my feedback at any rate. I would not cross list. Again, we used to do it that way, but I ran into too many problems when you're doing volume selling. If you're cross-listing without auto-sync in your volume selling, you're going to have some issues. You're going to have some issues. And I talked to someone else, too, about another issue, like you can't find an item, which has happened to us. And I've addressed that in other videos. I've sometimes had to buy it from somebody else, and basically a dropship scenario with like a record. I broke a record a few times, and there's been an issue and stuff. And then with this case and with what other people have done, I found an item after I told the person I couldn't. A week or 2 later, the item turned up. You never want to have that happen. It's going to happen. It's happened to me. I'm just, stuff happens, but you want to mitigate that as best as possible so you don't have one of those types of situations popping up in the first place. That there's nothing worse than saying you don't have something, and most people will just make up buyer asked to cancel it or something like that. I don't like to do that. I take it as I messed up, and as well, if the buyer didn't and something comes on down the line, you could get in trouble for lying to eBay, being dishonest and working the system to your benefit. And I don't need any other extra crap from eBay. We all got enough of that, I would say. Will Curtin, hang on, let's pop down and get some more comments. Another reason for using a third-party listing tool, I got you there. I just haven't found one that suits me yet. Shopify and InkFrog are the only 2 that I found that have been the most useful and easiest to use. Now, we've used Sellbrite, and we've messed with a few other ones too. I'm happier with Shopify with how the integration works and with how the apps work and the add-ons, and you can pretty much add and get any feature you want in Shopify. Taxes being the worst ones to have to deal with. There's an app that does everything on there. If you need anything in Shopify, just go to the App Store in Shopify. And man, there's like 4,000 apps in there. Maybe more than that now. If you're enjoying the conversation, please slam that thumbs up. We got 236 people in house. I got 52 thumbs up. I know I'm terrible on saying that, but if you're enjoying the conversation, please share some love with the channel. Hey, Nancy. How you doing, Nancy? Yeah, I know there's folks that do save it as they go as a draft just in case. I like to list quick. I try to cut any step off. I don't know. It's annoying. Hopefully they fix it, but there's issues that have been going on for months that they haven't fixed. A year. So I have to assume that some of it's intentional. Maybe they're trying to remove dead weight on the platform because their coding is patchwork of patchwork on patchwork on patchwork. I've talked to somebody who says he's coded there for quite a few years. People do reach out occasionally and send me stuff, but the conversation basically got into the fact that it's some of the original code and all they're doing is laying patchwork over it. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. I don't have any reason to doubt them. I know if I've some of the times when I've run in to help folks with like networking issues and stuff, I've got a IT degree, but if I'm helping somebody and they've got a network running or something and it's like a business or something, I have a consulting business. Just I don't talk about that much, but I do some consulting for a couple IT places. But they might have Windows 94 or 95 running, like really old, and it's all just a mix match if it's not used for actually connecting and other aspects. A lot of the computers that run a lot of the factories are just old school stuff, like 10, 15, 20 years old, because they still work. There's no sense in upgrading them and having to worry about with compatibility between the old equipment and a new PC. This, in some cases, they are stuck using the old Windows and stuff just because the new Windows version doesn't sync up with the old technology. You'd have to get patches. It just doesn't. It's not practical. Deanie, let's see here. My photos keep disappearing as I was creating listings today, like I'd never uploaded them the first time. Happened numerous times, once each per listing. On my iPad, the drafts seem to time out after maybe 15 minutes, and then I can't save as draft. I can't address anything on a phone, or I only use a laptop or a PC to do anything on eBay. The only thing I do on my phone is if I'm looking up a price and I'm out somewhere, or if I bought like wholesale Amazon and I just want to add quantity or something, I may do that. I'll use my phone at Walmart and use the Walmart app. I'll use my phone somewhere and I'll use Amazon's app just to check on prices and profitability. And then there's like one other app that I use tied to Walmart for Amazon anyway. But I've never had much luck with the phone app at all. You can't combine invoices, which is annoying, and that's one reason it's just useless, because probably 4 or 5 out of every 10 sale I get these days are all combined, like they buy 2 or 3 or even more. Today I sold 19 to one person, and I was $272. I was pretty happy with that. That was just a little while ago, actually. AJI3, how are you doing? Or is that AG13? Yeah, glitch. That again, I don't like to always talk about the glitches, but man, I judge what the common voice is on topics and what people are talking about by the amount of comments we get on a specific topic. And the number one topic that I've gotten since the 12th is on glitches constantly. Every day I get more comments, questions, posts, people reaching out to me on glitches than anything else right now. It's like maybe 8, 9, 10 to 1. So for every one of some other type of comment I probably get 8, 9, or 10 that are just about glitches, or someone's upset, or this isn't working, or that's not working. Yeah, again, this is the world we're living in. I try to not look at it these days from my side, because I don't want to be mad or always PO'd at eBay over it. But as a customer service person, as someone who looks at it from a customer service basis, eBay having all these glitches, the buyer can see these. The buyer can see when their invoice, their order doesn't go through right, or it doesn't process the way it's supposed to, or they ask what's going on, and the seller's got to tell them there's just glitch after glitch. What am I supposed to say? It's my fault if the buyer's asking me what's going on. I didn't do anything wrong. They know they had the invoice. I can prove that eBay had the invoice, sent to them, because they acknowledged that the invoice was there and it wouldn't allow them to pay it. I've heard or seen they can't pay maybe 800 times, maybe more, with the folks that I've talked to, and people show me screenshots. I know the issue with the shipping not being included, I've seen from other people. So it's not some random one-off thing. Just like the Terapeak issue. I got in touch with eBay for Business. I tried to get direct contact and all this other crap. When I asked them, where does it say this? Where are they going to tell us? They'd never responded again. They refused to respond to, when did this start? Why can't I look up more? Why are you stopping us from looking up items? And I also asked on what happened. Why can't I call? I thought I had Anchor Store support, which meant I could call eBay. That's what I always thought. So again, they're removing services. And people say I'm all, gloom and doom and stuff like that as comments that I've been personally told. But this is my livelihood. This is what a lot of people's livelihood is here. I don't do stuff just to get your money from watching my videos or courses or anything else like that. No offense to anybody who does those sorts of things. Some are good, some are bad, but I don't. That's not my goal. I'm in it with just like everybody else. Most of our income is reselling. I'm a reseller. I happen to do YouTube because I like talking about what I do, but I'm a reseller. So this affects me just as much as it affects everybody else. So I feed my kids, if I pay for a house and buildings and vehicles and whatever else I do with my life. So I take this 100% seriously, 120% seriously. And when things lose us thousands of dollars between the 12th and the 28th, I take that completely seriously. I figure we lost thousands of dollars from the morning of the 12th through the 28th when I started doing sell similar. It's the only time frame where the sales were that drastically down. And again, we're talking thousands of dollars I lost because of eBay. Now, if anybody doesn't think that's a serious issue, you must be crazy. You're not a business person. If there's an issue, you need to dig into it. They need to fix it. It needs to be addressed. They need to bring the sales back because it doesn't just hurt us. It hurts eBay. If eBay's seriously concerned about making their sales grow instead of losing 10%, again, eBay's down 20%. That's what you have to take the number at. Last quarter, they were down 10%. They lost 10% of the sales on the platform. They should have been up like every other platform out there, 10% or higher. So that's a 20% loss. You never project you're going to be down or even flat. You always project an increase. And every other company who's projected an increase has beat those revenues. If they projected an 8%, they're getting 10. If they projected 10, they're getting 12, 14%, like in Amazon's case. Again, this is serious issues. If eBay doesn't hear or doesn't care to listen to what people are saying, they're gonna hurt everybody, including themselves. The only thing I can say is if the numbers are bad again in fourth quarter, maybe that they'll get the wise idea to can the CEO, the Walmart guy, running the company down into the ground. Maybe that would fix the issue. Again, that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion on that, but that's my honest and sincere opinion on the idiot running eBay right now. I don't care if he sees it. I don't care what they have to say about it. Opinions are allowed to be spoken, and that's my honest, sincere opinion on what's wrong with eBay, more so now than anything else. It's the guy running it and the incredulous disrespect to low-value sellers and low-value buyers. They're not spending any money to invest in procuring more sales from the folks who are the bread and butter of a large chunk. They didn't look at the numbers correctly when they decided to roll out this stuff. They projected sales from what they're doing that have no basis. The person who's running the company doesn't sell, never has sold, whether he's worked at eBay or not. You can't count somebody who worked at eBay 15 or 20 years ago. And didn't hold some very major upper level position. Again, they got who would take the job with all the stuff going on last because of the CEO stepping down. But hey, Bob, how are you doing, Bob? For those in Patreon, I got back to everybody. Everything's answered in there. Yesterday, we spent the most money I've ever invested in a single day in my entire life, to the point that we were really nervous shelling out that kind of money. It was well into the 5 digits, beyond belief. It was literally the most I've ever spent on anything like that ever in my entire life. It was a long, hard decision between me and the wife investing in it, but I'll probably have some videos showing a few things, some very unique items. We picked up a collection of almost 4,000 business cards from somebody who's been a collector for their life long, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. The business cards, though, were the most interesting to me because there were some really, really good gems in there. We're keeping a few because they're that good of it. And I'm not a collector of business cards, but who owned them is the key on those. It's somebody I've always admired. So anyway, there's going to be some video hauls on Patreon coming out. Patreon, too, tomorrow at 6 p.m. for those in Patreon, Eastern Standard Time. There's a live show. I've got story views at the end of the live show like usual. Beginning topics are, in fact, I think I even have them here. Or do I not have them here? We're going to talk about some offer issues. We're going to show you, I've got a list. You're going to have a attachment for tomorrow's live show. There's going to be a list of responses. Somebody had asked on what I send out for responses to people, what I send out in textual wise to offers to watchers. I don't always do that these days, but I've got some already typed up stuff that everybody will be able to use, and we'll discuss that in the beginning of the show, as well as probably a few haul items that I got. I'll show you the real primo, some of the China stuff I got from China that are just, I was drooling over. I was really excited. I was really, really, really excited to pick up stuff yesterday. Let's see, where are we at here? Hey, Rob, how are you doing? Always a pleasure to have you on, Rob. I always thank you very kindly there. Marty, Jiminy Flip It, how are you doing, Marty? There you go, Marty. There you go, Marty. Amazon Seller 99, how are you doing this evening? I had a slip. I've got 2 cracked ribs. I don't know if I've said that, but I had a slip the other day. Well, it's been now 2 weeks, and it still isn't all better, but there's a Family Guy episode where my elbow felt funny, and my elbow has felt funny, and it's not right since that time. I think I have to go have it x-rayed again, since it's can't put any weight on it still. But that just reminded me with the jumping. Anyway, Michael Sanborn, how are you doing? Good evening. Good evening. Jackass Retro. Well, hello back at you, peeps. Artie Mike, how you doing, Artie Mike? Again, I did respond to everybody in there. We can hear you, thank goodness. I would hope by this point somebody would have started yelling out. I know last time when I messed that up, I found later on that people had sent all kinds of messages to me about it. I'm not a phone person. I'm really not. I'm not. My fingers are too fat, and I can't read my phone without looking like I'm blind anywhere in public because my vision. So I do have glasses with prisms in them, and I've got 3 different prescriptions of glasses now, because my vision isn't the same every day. One day it might be really, might be doubled like majorly, and then some days it's almost gone and it's clear. But my vision in my left eye is always smudged. It always looks like somebody smeared the top of the lens. You know, it's my eye. It's not the lens. I'm going to specialists. I get a lot of people reaching out to me on that. I've been to U of M and as well several here from the university, and anyway, I'm pretty frustrated. It's gone on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, Joe Snard, how are you doing? How are you doing, Joe? Welcome in. Craig Lanchart Picker, hey, how you doing? Another fellow channel there. He's been on my channel way back in the day. I don't do many cross-channel things these days. No disrespect. It's just a lot of time out and stuff. I'm probably gonna have a couple shows with some other folks on it too coming up soon here. I'm going to have a few Patreons on another video coming up, and you'll get to see what some other folks do. I talked to Annie. Annie will be on, I'm sure, very shortly. I heard from her today. So if you're in my Patreon group and you want to come on, we'll do a couple group shot shows and do some brainstorming. I talked to somebody, I talked to a lot of people, and I say, well, brainstorm. No one seems to know what brainstorming or what a brainstorming session is. We're going to have some brainstorming sessions. And in all honesty, it's a good way to get some ideas. If we're trying to figure out something here, I try everything. I dig in, we look at the data. Data runs the day. So the wife and I will sit down, a couple of the kids maybe a couple other people sit down, and we'll 4, 5, 6 of us will sit here and throw stuff at us. I know everybody's not going to think the same things, but there might be something that one of the listers we have here knows that I don't know, because they do the same thing all day long sometimes. So maybe there's steps we can take and things. So brainstorming in general, I've always found to be extremely helpful. When I worked for Einstein, I was a regional for Einstein Brothers Bagels for quite some time. I did Washington, Virginia, and Maryland during 9/11, the sniper shootings and all that stuff. We lived in just outside of Pentagon City in Virginia for a while. My boss was up there and said, well, let's sit here and brainstorm. I'm like, let's just figure some ideas out. And anyway, he popped some folks on the phone from a couple other stores and gave me some big major advice. Lou's the guy's name. Best boss I ever had in my life. My utmost favorite boss. You could never ask for a better guy than him. He was strict, but I always did my job. I never had an issue with him. He was always just my type of guy. The wife loved him. It was just one of those great bosses that you always wish you had. But he brainstorming, man. I can't express enough how important just throwing thoughts and ideas off of somebody else's. So I'm putting together a video for that. We're going to probably have a couple of them. There'll probably be 3-4 people besides me on a show. However many I think I can limit to. I'm going to pull on some Patreons first, and we're just going to do some quick brainstorming sessions to give you an idea. In the past, I've talked to people recently, and I still do this occasionally. We'll do private StreamYards, and I can record it. And then we can come back in. Anybody can have a copy of it, whoever's in this session, and then we can bounce ideas and write down notes. People will say stuff, and I'm like, hey, man, I never thought about that. And it might be something, the simplest, stupidest thing that you might even have thought, well, what am I going to do with that? And they've been doing that process that you blew off and for some different reason than you are. And it's always those ways that I find things that work, just talking to people. Just like knowing your buyers, man. I can't tell you how important it is to know your buyers. The guy today with the shipping issue that I talked about, where I just gave him the free shipping basically, that was the right choice to do. If the shipping was maybe $20 or something different, so we're talking $3 some odd. The items he bought, I have 20 cents into maybe at most, plus eBay's fees. It was a $28 sale, so at the end of the day, I still made over 20. Well, yeah, I still made around $20. And it's a guy who's already bought, I think I counted 17 purchases total, 17 different cards. And that's in like a 34-day period. So, he's going to keep coming back. I took care of him. I had somebody buy from me. The item showed up. And they're first, as soon as they got it, well, where'd you get this? Can you give me any history on it? If you sell a lot of vintage, that's another thing you might want to think about is, I never used to worry about the history of items, but these days, if I get something with an item that shows any type of history, these days I try and keep it with the item until it's sold. So if there's something, I don't want to have to type in everything and stuff, and big stuff, I just change a couple words for every listing. I just keep the information. So if somebody asks, then I'll go ahead and, here you go, here's the information. I get asked the history on items, especially with last names, items that are being bought because of a last name. I don't know, maybe at least once or twice a day on average, in all honesty. So that's a pretty high number to 30, 40, 45, 50 times a month somebody asks me the history on an item that they bought. And giving them that information gives you another in to say, hey, if there's other stuff you're looking for, or if your father... I saw a lot of trade cards and postcards advertising-wise because the last name is the same last name to somebody else. And I used to originally, way back in the day, 15, 20 years ago, I always used to think that was because it was a family member. But that's not even the case. Sometimes you'll run into like a weird last name. My last name's pretty weird. There's not a lot of people. It's very rare for me to run into somebody with the same original last name. It's a German name. A lot of my family changed the spelling of the last name after Hitler came to power because there's people with our same last name, that were in Germany during World War II and stuff like that. I have no affiliation or anything like that. So I'm just in general. So it's rare to come across certain last names. So when there's a really weird last name, I always make sure to list those items. It only takes 1 or 2 people to have that same last name to sell something for good money. And that's another ploy that a lot of people miss is the last name sales. On a given day, I may sell 10 to 20% of our items because of a last name. I had somebody from a specific Marshmallow Town or Marshalltown, Iowa, I think maybe it was. Marshalltown, I think maybe it's Marshalltown. Somebody bought like every card I had just yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Every card I had from that same town was bought by one person, all at the same time. So names and stuff. Again, this stuff is hot right now. I'm selling a ton of stuff for names, for history, all that kind of stuff's just flying off the hook these days right now. Postcard wise and stuff like that, they're pretty hot right now. Christmas postcards are getting some major action. Easter cards, oh my gosh, we've been getting a lot of Easter and people are buying well in advance. I see some folks that are saying they're having a little lack in sales, but vintage and antiques and collectibles seems to be at the top notch. Comic books are really hot right now. Records are flying. 78s, we did extremely well with 78s compared to the prior 2 or 3 months. Summer just never seems to be the time. So, again, depending on what you're selling. Video game sales are super, super hot right now as well. Everybody that I know that does video games, vintage especially, are flying off the shelf. VHS tapes, even the ones that aren't graded, are going fairly good right now too. So again, there's still a lot of $500 to $1,000 VHS tapes, non-graded ones. You don't have to just grade them to worry about that if you have your concerns about that. But as far as I can say, that's legit. But anyway, let's hop back. I know I'm off topic a little bit here. Mr. Hot Wheels, how are you doing this evening? Good to see you back in too. Darius, how are you doing? Are no longer glitches. It's a feature. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, Darius. That could very well be the case. In all honesty, if I talk bad about eBay, I take more hate every single video. I really think it's people from eBay, truthfully, a large number of the comments and nasty stuff I get. But either way you go, I don't like bad-mouthing or doing I'd rather do videos talking about cool antiques, cool things that sell, cool things that you could look for and stuff like that, because I enjoy doing those videos. I always cringe. My wife always asks me the 10 question, how bad was it when I'm doing a video like that. Sales were good. That's the sad part. If the glitches were gone, we could have, if they didn't kill our sales on the 12th to the 28th, I lost 16 days of steady good sales. And you're thousands of dollars. If it wasn't for that and the glitches, this could have been a bumper year for everybody. It still may be. We still may be able to pull it up, but we're gaining ground on the lost revenue right now. Again, because sales are doing so good. We're 42% up versus last year in fourth quarter right this minute. We've done a lot of different things. I've changed prices. I've changed photos on a lot of listings. We've upgraded. We've scanned since last year, January 16th or 17th, I think was the date we picked and wrote down. We're going to do that again this year, but we picked every week. We were renewing and redoing listings from last year. I think the photo quality is huge. If you're not on Amazon will ghost your listing and make it non-visible if the quality of your photos aren't good. Even though it'll allow you to upload them and won't give you a warning, you could still get that notice there. I got to wonder what's going on with eBay, because there could be something along that line where it's intentionally not promoting listings with bad images. If it's a hot item, it's got a bad image, it'll probably sell. But overall, we've been improving images, and items sell very quickly if we improve the images. If we spend the time to improve images and go through listings, 10 a day, 15 a day, 100 a day, whatever you've got the time to do, changing the titles around always gets us a big boost on them, especially if I do like 100 in one day. I may bulk add something in or something like that too, possibly. I'll just go ahead and pull up an Excel spreadsheet, and I'll just cut and paste like one word across the whole works, or remove a word and add some other word, trying to get a little more interest from a secondary item or category that might be tied to the listings we're doing. That would be like a like-to-like category specific. So I'd only be doing bulk adding like a word to a title if it's like all trade cards or buttons or military badges or belts, buckles, or Zippo light, whatever it is. Keep it category to category specific. Hey, Cindy, how you doing, Cindy? Good to have you in the house. Now, I was going to say my feed's about ready to bounce around, and it just did that. So now I got to find out where I was again. Just a second. I'm going to try and catch back up. I know I'm always behind in feed. Still early today. I think I'm close. Winter Crow, how are you doing? New Jersey. I've been to New Jersey a few times. Not many, but I have been through there. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing, Michelle? Hopefully you're doing well. Very long time subscriber. Good to see you in, Michelle. Glamour Girl Gear, how are you doing? George Guerrero. I probably butchered it. Apologize. Yes, about two weeks ago, it did not let me post anything on the app. Yeah, I'm. The problem with an app, and not eBay specifically, but the problem with most apps is it's not a full-featured app. And I do a lot of stuff that a lot of other people may not do. And that's not a brag. It's just I've got quantity, so I've got to do certain things certain ways. I use business policies and all sorts of other things that other people may not even need. Again, this is my model. You don't have to have, a million inventory. You don't have to have tens of thousands of listings. This is what I want for me. I don't, it doesn't have to be your store. Don't look at my store or somebody else and say, do I need that? Nobody needs to have the same thing as anybody else. Every store is different. Every approach to this is different. That's why, and it happened again today. I get people all down and stuff, and I feel like I got to talk somebody off of a ledge because they looked at someone else's posting, sending out 100 boxes or packages. Please don't ever look at someone else's post on Instagram or wherever else where they're saying and showing all these packages getting sent out. A package count does not mean anything in that aspect. Everybody worries, wow, look at all that stuff they're selling. How am I ever going to get there? I know people that can sell 3 or 4 items a day and make 2 or 3 times what pretty much the top seller that I know makes. It depends on what you sell. Quantity is no good if it doesn't come as quality. I would rather sell 100 items at, $50 a pop, with $40 profit than, 1,000 items at $2 profit. It's so much more work to sell and ship a whole bunch of cheap items. $5 and $10 items just aren't going to cut it these days anymore when you get to volume. You'll be spending, every morning hours shipping out a $5 profit item, and I can't do that. The lowest items we list are $9.99 postcards or anything. I don't sell anything cheaper than $9.99 at all. And those postcards I got like a dime into. So I'm making $8 profit, but they're super easy to ship. They're super easy to list. A postcard is probably one of the easiest things to list in general because all you're doing is dropping it in a duplex scanner. You upload the photos and it's a quick title. And if you're a novice, you can just type whatever it says on the postcard to at least get by until you figure out the best keywords. And that's just my take on it, though, of course. Let's pop on down here. Emerald City resells. I've been losing drafts of late as well. Glitches equals lost time. I do not use drafts at all anymore because of that. I don't do the templates anymore, again, because of that. We would set up templates, get them the way we want them. The next week they were gone. Drafts, same thing. Next week they're gone. Next day, in some cases, they were gone. Just like when eBay used to crap out on us at the last minute when we hit a list and it would do it's not you, it's us, and then I would lose that listing. It used to, a year or two ago, it would always be in there in like a set draft. So I could go right back to where I was just at and start over from where it crashed. My photos were usually there and everything, but it doesn't do that anymore. Again, every time I look, they've removed something that makes it easier for us. Unless all they care about is the big businesses with streamlined business. This isn't helping the secondhand sellers. A lot of people who sell sports cards and stuff that are high-end and comic books sell other things. If the other things are taking a crap, a lot of the business may go somewhere else. It just doesn't make much sense in my book, but... hey, Tracy, how are you doing? Good to have you in. Sorry to hear many of you are also having some same problems saving drafts. Only positive is glad to hear is everyone, so they're got to address it. I don't think they care. It's the only thing I can say. They're still buying stock back, and they've wasted billions of dollars on line in their pockets. But yet, every day, I don't have any glitches anywhere else, unless they're caused by eBay's API, but I don't have glitches anywhere. Even the smaller sites who maybe don't have the huge technical department, the IT staff like eBay should have, don't have any of these problems. If another site instigates a change, it's usually pretty quick. Now, Etsy did have the one where the listings weren't visible just the other day. Mine were, so maybe some people couldn't see them, but it didn't affect us at all on Etsy, honestly. Again, I'm not making light of any of those who it did, but, I guess it's a toss of a coin these days. At least they immediately admitted they did something or something was on their behalf. With something eBay never seems to do. They can never take claim or announce, yes, we did this, or yes, this happened. Just be honest with us, and people would be more prone to trust eBay, but they're never honest. They can never give you a straight answer, and that's, I guess, my biggest complaint. Again, if you're enjoying the conversation, please hit the thumbs up. I got 314 people in-house right now, 140 likes, thumbs up. Again, it does show some love for the channel if you're enjoying the conversation here. Let's pop on down. Oh, let me show you something else here. I forgot I do have a few things here I was looking through. I buy junk like in boxes from collectors and things like that. I did buy a massive assortment of this sort of thing from somebody who used to be a dealer. Hand-cut stones. I don't even know what kind of stone this is, but it's actual stone. I've got probably 400 or 500 already cut for jewelry pieces of stone. All real nice, some quartz, some I've got a few emeralds in the lot too. There's some garnets, really nice, pretty ones. A couple of rubies, some onyx. There's some moonstones in there. The wife kept all the opals. There's a few opals in there, some raw, but I got it from somebody who made jewelry, who doesn't make jewelry anymore. So that's another good source. People always ask, where do you source at? I go to places where most people wouldn't look, and a lot of other businesses or people that are going under stuff. I can get in there and get some good stuff like that. But I love the stones and the fossils and stuff. Always love that kind of stuff. Where are we at? Hey, Dom, Primetime Treasure. I brought you up just a while ago. Hope you're doing well, Dom. Dumb to cap Terapeak searches. Yes, completely. No idea. They just can't handle their own technology. I don't know. It makes no sense. If they'd say, hey, for $5 extra or whatever, it'd probably be worth it, just to not have to deal with it. But again, they're going to nickel and dime us to get to death, is what it sounds like. The only reason you'd slow off searches is either you can't handle the amount of traffic you're getting, which I don't see with the amount of sellers that are leaving with selling less items on the platform. I don't see that's the case. So the only other option is that's another way to collect more fees from us by giving us, by charging us for something we used to get for free. Come on, it looks childish to me. It looks like you're a third world business, basically. You don't know what you're doing. You're just throwing everything. It's like, I don't know. It's annoying. I just wish they'd get their act together. If they put a board of like 100 different types of resellers together and had votes on it, or at least recommendations from that, that would help so much. But they have no interest to reaching out to us, other than the ones who will preach whatever they want. There's a couple of YouTube channels who are definitely in eBay's pocket, and they constantly show pictures of them with eBay people and stuff. I can't watch those. I cringe when I see those channels. People send me some. I'm not going to call any names, but people send me screenshots of this or that, and I'm like, I'm not going to watch it. I don't like the propaganda aspect, and if somebody from eBay is coming on a channel, in my book, it's just propaganda. If they can't tell us straight and be honest with us, I don't want to hear it. That's all I can say. I think it's a principle for me. Hey, Ralph, how you doing, Ralph? Hey, Duncan, you're way late today, or maybe I missed you at the top. I saw a seller state he used eBay pay-per-click on 900 items. He got a shock bill and no sales. Many sellers just do not understand what they are doing. Even if you do understand, there's no guarantee of anything on it. I would never. Yeah, I see your point too. They probably didn't realize the so much per day and all that kind of stuff too. They may have set up a couple different keyword searches that would steer them to your items. I would never, ever, ever, ever recommend anybody who does anybody, not just like me, but anybody who does used items to use a pay-per-click method. Unless you've got quantity of the same item, it doesn't make any sense. It's for those to make sense, you've got to have a static. You've got to have that listing static. It's got to be there for a while. You can't sell similar. You're going to lose all the bulk that's going to it. You're going to lose the traffic. You're going to lose ranking. It's got to be an item that's going to sit for a while, that you've got replenishable, that's going to be a routine seller. You're just trying to steer traffic away from other people to you instead of them. That's all you're trying to do. And with used and secondhand goods, I could never see the need or use for that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just totally off. It's meant for the people wanting to spend $500 a day. That's the example that the pay-per-click promoted listings offers you. When it shows you what to do, pick a number that's reasonable. It was $500. I got a video. That's literally what it was. The CEO is only worried about $500 or $600 items in the first place. So everything is $500, $600, or $1,000 whenever they talk about anything. They're not talking about the person selling $5 or $10 jeans, or person making $50 on a pair of something, or $50 on a card or a picture or a game. They're not advertising for us at all. And the coupons, I gave up. We had a little results when we first started, but we've sent out thousands of coupons. I may have had one person take me up on the coupon. The coupon is bunk. It doesn't work. And the CEO said, we gave them coupons, meaning us, all of us resellers. That's how they're going to get repeat business and get their advertising going, by doing these coupons. That's it. And the other aspect is they're telling you can get sales to the site and not have to pay final value fees a certain percent by doing the affiliate links for eBay. And that's just a scam again to get people to the site. Yeah, maybe you don't pay us the fees and all, but doing the work. You're posting affiliate links on your Facebook pages. Your family's on and get tired of seeing you advertising stuff, and I don't post stuff like that hardly ever anywhere ever. I don't promote my store just because I don't know. But I'll never pay eBay to promote it. Noelle, Farm Girl Scavenger, how you doing? Good to see you in house. Hopefully you are doing well. Michelle, I just got an outbid notice on an item I never bid on. Well, yeah, that's great. I'd go in and check your account to make sure it wasn't hacked, just to be safe. If it flips, it sells. Can 1 million of us report them to the Better Business Bureau? I want to say there's like tens of thousands. I looked at the Better Business Bureau on them a couple of times, like a while ago. It's not going to do any good. It's a private thing. I don't see it. eBay would even give a hoot. Maybe on... what's that one where you can rate businesses and everybody bombs them? I can't think what that is. I never use that stuff. I don't know. Somebody will know what it is. Everybody says go dog them on whatever that's Angie's List or what the heck is that? I can't think of it. I don't do any of that stuff. William Emerson. William Emerson, anyone UK side having an issue when you are on your own listing and view sellers' other items, they don't tally with what you have listed. Those numbers are going to vary. Let's say if you do zero quantity in your store, your store side is going to show items with zero quantity. But when you go out to the front side, they don't show zero quantity items anymore. Your store will probably still show your sold items for a certain length of time after they have sold, because they're still technically in your store, especially prior to you shipping them out. But those quantity numbers won't match the outside storefront. I looked into this before because I was like, what the heck's going on with it? And I had a lengthy dig into our store, and that's exactly what the issues were with us. I don't know with you, but the folks who have brought that same issue up, who I've pointed out to, that was part of it. Now, we did have some listings that were off, that were missing from the store, but that turned out to be another issue which eBay did actually fix. So I don't know. It seems like when you report something and you want to do a video about it, they seem to fix it fairly quickly sometimes. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of those running it. Nancy, Etsy crashed the other day, and luckily I had printed out the order sheet for my sales, so I was able to buy postage on Pirate Ship. I'm saving a lot of money per label with their shipping rate in Canada. There you go, Nancy. That's a good one for you for sure. Ocean Deals. Okay, welcome. Michelle, that outbid is scary. Yeah, that would be scary, Susan. I completely agree. I would check out my account just to make sure. Crush it. My payments are on hold because I need to send them my information. Been not having my payment now for a week. I've had probably a dozen or so people, probably since this past weekend, tell me that eBay did some random audit on their account and they still haven't been able to get money. Now, one of them is going on I think day 21. So again, that's troublesome. They did it to us once, and I called. We got on the phone, and I was pretty steamed. And it wasn't the fact that the money, and I know, but for a lot of people it would be, they need the money. It was the principle. I mean, we've given them everything. We've done everything. They can call us anytime. We're pretty much open with what we do with eBay, you know. Hopefully they get it fixed for you. Crush it. Carla Murray, how are you doing? Thank you very kindly. Thank you very kindly. It drives everybody crazy. Kane 6676, how are you doing? Last week was great. Now, I personally think that this weekend might be a little slow. If you're new to selling, you won't have this data. But if you've been a seller for at least a year, I pray that you've been keeping track separately, aside from eBay, what your sales have been. This weekend could be slower. People are going to be out and about getting stuff for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up this week. You should be looking at the calendar, so this weekend could be slow. I'm going to put it out there right now. There's going to be a lot of people getting together, thinking about what to do, making plans. Money could be a little tight. Thanksgiving is what they're going to be investing stuff into right now. It happens every single year. There could be a little dip for a couple days through the weekend. People are going to be off work, starting Tuesday night, Wednesday, so sales should pick up back by then. Every year it's like this. Usually, even if I'm down, 10% or whatever, I'm still up overall. And even if I'm not up, by the time the weekends, I'm up anyway. I never worry about a couple of days. If it goes on for any length of time, different story. Like the issues with October 12th, that was a total crash. That was like we're way up here, then all of a sudden we're way down here, and it just didn't go anywhere from there. So I do think that self-similar in this particular case did bring everything back. And now we're just working out the other issues to keep the traffic coming in. One thing I would say is I think eBay's watch page results, or not watch page, your view page that you get is got some major glitches to it. I think that they've done something, removed something unintentionally, crashed, ruined, or glitched something that's not showing correct or honest numbers on your view page, and they don't want to admit it. That's my opinion. I've seen, I'm going to give you probably 75 people's different view pages. Their views, how many views they have, 12th and on up and stuff, so we can kind of compare befores and afters. I think there's missing information, or something is not right. It's not pulling data right. It's not a concern to them, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but there is something not pulling data correctly in my book. I don't see any other way around it. I don't know their IT coding aspect of it, but just from a sheer business logic, there's something else going on with that. I never look at my views anyway, honestly. I could care less what the views say. Watchers is the only thing I care about. If I can't send an offer to somebody, I don't care. The only reason I've even looked at views is from the 12th on, just to see what's going on with it. If sales are coming in, views mean nothing. Watchers, if watchers, I can't send an offer to them, I don't care if there's a watcher watching it at all. If I'm going to change the price, I'm not going to change it based on a watcher or anything else like that. I'm going to change the price based on what I feel or the current market value of the item. If it went up or went down, I'm going to adjust it accordingly. Sometimes I get more results and more sales if I raise the price on items. Oh, one other thing I noticed too, I've had a lot of people talk about with the when you're how do I want to word it? When they're like having watchers on items, they're hesitant to do self-similar. What I've seen and found out is if they've been watching it for a little while, I'm sorry, I've got notices popping up here. If there's been watchers on an item for a little while, nothing's happened with it, ending the item and selling again, first off, when it ends, if they're not paying attention to who the buyer is, they might not even realize it's you. They may think that item's sold. So if the item's sold and they see a new one just pop up, they may be more prone to buy it. It does seem, even with the ones that I've had watchers on, couldn't send them offers, but they still had some decent watchers on it. As soon as I relisted it, I got watchers right away and an offer in most cases on those hotter items. So I'm not going to ever worry about whether it has watchers or not watchers or whatever else like that. I think the boost you get from it being shown as a new item on the platform is the biggest key, even if it only lasts for a few days. If you list, like I've said, we're doing 1/30th of our store every day of the week is going to be sold similar. So no item in our store very shortly is going to be older than 30 days. It'll always look like every item was listed in the last 30 days. And we're changing prices up $1, down $1 the next month. That's what's rolling in as well, too. In that way, we've got constant action. So it's going to show us putting new items up and then as well changing stuff. So it's going to be re-ranked a couple of times. And we're weaving in newer items throughout the store as we list them. So all those options do seem to be a boost for the store traffic in general. I'm not exaggerating. Sales have been well above 42% was the honest to God number in my store, year over last. And that's more than my projections. Again, we lost a lot, so if they stay like this, we'll come out ahead. If they don't, I may have lost a few $1,000s at the end of the year because of eBay's October 12th fiasco. And again, I take it seriously. If it was somebody else who can't afford to lose that money, that's a big deal to me. But Angela Denise Painter, how are you doing this evening? Sounds like that helped you with the self-similar. Mary Swanson, how are you doing? If you've done self-similar on all your items, I wouldn't rush to get them all up in self-similar a couple times a month. I would only do it once a month because I don't see that constantly doing it's going to help. If you got a limited amount of items as well, I don't know if it's going to help. a lot of stores that have like 1,000 even up may have taken them a long time to get it up. So that means some of those listings are going to be ghosted. If you've only got a few hundred items and you've only been doing this 3 or 4 months, you might not be ghosted at all. Now, I know I've had quite a few people tell me that eBay has ended some of their listings and said it hasn't sold for so long that you only get like 12 cycles up. Now, I don't see that on my end. They don't end our listings, but again, we've got quantity and we run a different type of business. I've also seen people send me screenshots where eBay has lowered the price or put their item on sale with, and then stated, we did this to help you sell the item because so many more sell this way. I would be offended if eBay took it upon themselves to change my prices. Nowhere in there do I see that it says they're technically allowed to come in and mess with our stuff. If they keep doing that, I've had people ask about, lawsuits. I'm not trying to get any lawsuit. But if they keep doing stuff to your store and are starting to take control of your store, you could probably legally fight to claim that eBay is treating you basically as an employee for them. And then we could do some issues with legality against eBay if that ever got to that point. So the more eBay dips their hands into your business, the more likely it is they're doing some sort of violation or could be heading towards a violation of some laws where a class action could come to play. Again, I'm not trying to get anybody to do that, but I get that question. I get it a lot. Every single day there's probably 5-6 people who bring up lawsuit and class action and stuff that have posted somewhere. eBay is going to win unless you can be classified in my book as an employee or they violate another law that's in California. Again, I'm not looking to take eBay down because we do make decent amount of money on it when it's working correctly and when they're not ghosting and putting roadblocks up and limiting and removing services and charging more and on and on and on. But, again, week-to-week sales can vary. So I would wait till Tuesday evening, Wednesday, and see how it goes from there. My honest opinion is once everybody's out of work and going home and family, there's going to be more people looking and having fun and relaxing and spending some time looking for something to buy and stuff. Christmas sales are I don't think there's going to be as many as everybody's saying towards the end of next month. I think maybe the first week in December, a lot of people have probably gotten a large chunk of what we're looking for. You might have some, last minute didn't have the money and things like that, but we're done with Christmas shopping. I've been done for, a week or two with everything, every single thing. Most people I know have bought ahead of time, either to get the prices cheaper or to make sure that they're not going to get lost or stolen or anything else like that. You wait till the last minute, there could be shipping issues and all that kind of stuff. Anyone noticed the buyer ID vanished out of payment confirmed emails? Yeah, I don't even look at the emails like that at all. I just go from my is it ready to ship screen. That's all I look at. They don't even show up on my phone. I think I got all those going to a trash, if I'm not mistaken. I don't read any of the emails eBay sends. I don't do any of the surveys anymore. I don't waste any time on anything other than getting my listings and getting sales on eBay. Nothing else I deal with eBay at all because they wasted so much of my time with all the other BS. I'm not going to waste any more time giving them any information, helping them out. I'm just going to do what I got to do to get my stuff rolling, and that's it. There's just no way you can take a hit with thousands and then still have to help them out with stuff. It's just not working. Vintage Vagabond Vens, how are you doing this evening? Yeah, you're not required to use eBay shipping at all, Amazon Seller 99. Like, you can ship in bulk from many other places, so that's why I've got a Pirate Ship, PayPal, InkFrog if I want, Shopify if I want. You can just bulk ship. There's third-party apps you can add in from the App Store in Shopify where you can ship all of your stuff in one single page as well, too. I may do a video on that one of these days, as I use that occasionally too myself if I'm lazy or the kids aren't here. I didn't want to have to explain to the kids how to use all that, so that's the only reason they usually ship from our pages. In the mornings, usually these days, I've got some other things going on, so the kids usually do it. My oldest gets the mail out just before he goes to school to college, so he's got 8 credit hours next session, and he graduates with a engineering and chemical engineering, or with a chemical engineering degree. It'll be nice. I still got one more then after that, still in college. Let's see here. William Curtin, I have a theory why eBay self-sabotages during fourth quarter. It's a safety valve to stop the site from totally crashing because of the fourth quarter volume. They were down 10%. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. Maybe it is. You could be right. But I really would have to say no. If they were that bad, oh my God, they might as well just hang up the towel now. I don't think that's it. I think they're just incompetent. That's literally my opinion. I just think they're just complete idiots when it comes to figuring stuff out. All the people that want these changes, like the CEO and stuff, he doesn't have an IT degree. He doesn't know how any of that works. The people writing the code don't know the other side of it. They just know how to do the code for the most part, from what I see. So when you have two people that don't know how to converse, it reminds me of Office Space. When the one guy, I can't remember the guy, I think he's the one who gets hit backing out of his driveway and he gets the settlement. He was trying to explain his job. I conversed with the programmers to the executives. That used to be a real spot. There used to be someone in there because the executives don't know anything about the programming, and you just do it, fix it. That's all they care about, my opinion. But yeah, I would say that's pretty legit. Yeah, Duncan, I hate the new eBay storefront. It's disastrous. It makes everybody look like they don't have much in their store, and since they're picking items that are all in one category, it doesn't show a variety of what you sell at all. So if you're not paying attention, you're new, or you're just fiddling around, you used to see items. You used to be able to instantly see all the categories. The other aspect, when you select a category in the eBay store, you can't just go to another category. You got to back out of that category and then pick another one. You can't randomly go from category to category from any category you click on. It makes no sense. There's no link back. It's terrible. It's terrible structured. It reminds me of like MySpace almost. It's almost as bad as MySpace. And I know MySpace still exists and they still make millions of dollars a year, but it's still no one knows it. No one messes with it unless you're a musician or something. I think Justin Timberlake owns MySpace, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost sure that's who owns it now, or a percentage of it. Rupert and Lilibet Pugs. We're pushing ahead with Shopify January launch. So we have no faith in glitch Bay. Sales down 50% and constant issues. Now, I would say let's talk about Shopify for just a minute here. We'll probably end it in this one here. With Shopify, if you're linking up Shopify with eBay, eBay is going to crush your Shopify. Because if the API dies like it did with Bonanza and Hip and a bunch of other links and stuff, even InkFrog's having issues with the API, your listings from eBay won't get to Shopify. So the only way to alleviate that would be to just get all your listings into Shopify, kill your store in eBay, all your listings, and then push your listings out from Shopify back to eBay. Because that way eBay could only kill the listings on eBay itself. So you'd still have the listings everywhere else from Shopify. Everywhere else, Shopify would propagate your listings. So if you have Etsy hooked up, Walmart, eBay, whatever you have hooked up will sync, even if one of those sites is screwed up like eBay. We know it's going to be eBay. If there's a problem, usually it's eBay. Anytime I have a problem with the sync or anything else, if it's items from eBay, it's always eBay's fault. Always. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. Again, I don't get any joy of saying that. I wish I wouldn't have the headache and constant issues with eBay, but it's always eBay. It's never any other site I sell on. It's 99.9999% of the time always eBay. If I have a headache a day, it's over eBay every day. If it's like that, and every day since the 12th, we've had some headache with eBay every day, and before that too. But the glitches are just getting to be atrocious. And the buyers are the problem. The buyers getting the issues, and buyers not being able to buy. That's the worst part. Who cares if it's us to some extent? Again, I do care, but I'm just, if the buyers are going to leave because even if you've got good stuff, if they can't buy it, or every time they try to buy something, they have a bad experience with eBay's payment processing, or the invoices don't show up right, or they're not showing paid. I bought something 3 or 4 days ago, something for one of the kids, and it didn't show it was paid. I paid from my PayPal, so I went to PayPal to look. I used PayPal as the option, and it showed paid in PayPal. But it didn't show it was paid on eBay at all. It still showed it in my cart and told me I needed to pay for it still. So I was worried, because if somebody didn't realize that it was paid, if you're new and you didn't go to PayPal to verify that it came out of your funds, you might have paid it a second time thinking it crashed or didn't go through. And I've never seen these issues until recently. And that's as a buyer. That's me as a buyer. That's not as a seller. That's me as a buyer. I bought a casting flask, for those who know what, foundry work is. But I sold a $28 game plus 13 shipping on UPS, eBay, label glitch. They tried charging me $32 for the label. Now, I've heard label issues too, Josh. I've heard that too. Pricing. The other day, I never used priority. The other day that it printed up, it went through the whole process, and at the end of the day, it had a priority label. Somehow it switched my first class to priority. For a 12-ounce package, I ended up spending priority, and it's just a nuisance. I don't know why they're changing. Yeah, you can't use Ross. You can't use a virtual computer to bypass the issues with the Terapeak search. You can't do that. It's blocked at your IP from your IP address. The virtual computer will still be using your IP out from your laptop or whatever you're using, so it can't work that way. The physical VPN, you're dialing into someone's site, and that site is cloning an alternate IP address for you, is basically what it is. So eBay can't tell that that's the case. That's how if you ever are blocked on you can't see this movie in this city or this country or that country, I would just use a VPN. And that VPN, you can act like you're from Switzerland and watch European movies that aren't available because of the viewer location here. So like if you're on YouTube and it says not available in your country, you can go use a VPN and pretend you're in another country, and you can watch any of that stuff you want. So for those who don't know, we've got a VPN too. So I did test it. You can use a VPN to get past the Terapeak issues. So I'm just telling you, anybody who knows IT should know enough about that anyway. But it does work. It works very effectively. I'll do one more because we're almost at the 8:30 mark. I don't like to go much more than that. Heather Pedler, are you only doing sell-similar for listings that were originally listed prior to 10/12 or whatever the date? Yeah, 10/12. Or are you going to continue doing this as a constant cycle? 1/30th of my store is going to be done every day. That equates to 1,000 listings every day of the week. I will sell similar, and that means no item will be older than a month old in my store going forward. And again, we've been playing with this since the 12th, and I think that's the best bet. I'm going to void out the option to have them rank on Google and go with this route. Now, I've got something else planned in January, is why I'm saying that. Because I won't have to do sell-similar in my own store. And I can rank them myself on Google Shopping through Shopify. So I will only be losing the ones possibly off of eBay. Excuse me. And if you pay attention, if you've been digging into searches and doing random Chrome searches from a wiped laptop, a laptop with no search results or history or anything else to pull up stuff you've already looked at, you can see what's going on. You can see a lot of times the smaller seller gets ranked over an eBay listing. I'm telling you right now, like Hip, some of my listings I've got the same item on multiple sites through their API, and they'll show up better from another platform than eBay. It could be something eBay's doing, though. I don't know. So if I can use eBay sell-similar while I'm, for the listings on eBay versus actually using it from another site. Now, I'm going to have to figure out how to do that because if you're selling similar straight from eBay and you've got it hooked up to Shopify or InkFrog, it's going to throw everything off. So we're going to have to figure out if there's a way to automate that through InkFrog or through Shopify so I can do that just with the listings on one platform. Mapping is going to come into play. You might have to map listings, which would be a nuisance if you have to do that every day. Just be cautious with the whole aspect of that. Shopify, though, I'm hoping to have an option where we can adjust just the eBay listings with possibly an auto map. I think if the auto map with Shopify to start with, if I sell similar through Shopify, it should auto map to those listings because they were auto mapped the first time. If you don't know what the mapping is, if you hook up your listings from one site to another, You might have them all up on both platforms, but the only way to get them to sync is you have to map each one. So you'll be on, say, Shopify, and you'll have to pick one specific listing at a time on Shopify, and then click the link to it on Amazon, so to speak. I got videos showing what that is too, if you haven't done that before. I know for some people that's probably I lost you because you're not up on Shopify or something, but it'll make sense if you have to do this. The point being, though, that I'm going to avoid having eBay as my base of operation. My base of operation will be another site is my goal, where eBay listings will be pushed out from another site. So I'm not going to have to rely on eBay to sync or list or control my inventory in a bad way like they do now. I'm not going to have to worry about that. I'm not going to have to worry about them ghosting my listings and having to sell similar. I want to work that into there, and that's my goal. So I'm going to take it until I'm not going to jump into something until I can stop eBay from doing that sort of thing, where listings that I'm sending out from eBay won't be an issue because they're not going to be sent out from eBay. It's going to be reverse. It's going to take some doing, but that's our goal. I don't trust eBay anymore. I can't. You can't do it. I can't anyway. You can't trust that they're not going to hide your stuff. They're not going to be mad at you one day. I've had hundreds of people tell me if they complain to eBay, their sales drop to the bottom of the barrel for the next couple days after they complained about something. Would I put it past eBay doing that? Not at all. Not after what they did to the Steiners, Ina and her husband at E-commerce Bites. I wouldn't put it past them at all. Can you print a shipping label off with no available funds while your funds are on hold? I thought eBay had said or released a notice stating that your shipping costs will be released to ship labels, or that's coming if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's a day gone by where I didn't have enough to ship whatever the heck I wanted into it. Again, everybody's not going to have that result, but we do a payout once a week. So there's almost, I don't think there's a time since I changed to that where I've ever had to use money off of eBay. You know, at least that's my take on it. If it flips, it ships. Is eBay the new Craigslist? I would say eBay is the new Walmart, would be my take on it. And a bad version of Walmart, too. I think Walmart's easier and better than the setup than eBay's switching it around. Again, we'll see what happens. If fourth quarter's bad, hopefully they'll do the right thing and can the CEO. That's my take. He'll walk off with millions of dollars in stock purchases and bonuses, though, I bet you, even if he tanks the company, because that's always seems to be what happens. We're going to let it go off at that here. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. I do have a video coming up tomorrow. It's already been shot. I just need to edit for here on YouTube. It's a whole interesting topic. I'll show you something that I picked up as well. I actually have 2 videos. I don't know. Maybe I'll roll a different one. I don't know. But I have videos already done for tomorrow. Patreon, again, if you're in Patreon, I answered everybody in there. If you've got anything else or anything else you need, post it tonight. I will try and get everything looked at before the live show so I can address anything on the Patreon-only live show tomorrow. Again, it's tomorrow at 6 for those in Patreon. At 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday. I tried to mix it up because I know a lot of people were having some issues with the time I ran the show the week before that. So anyway, I do appreciate everybody coming on. I hope you had a good evening. Hopefully sales are rocking. Working your store is the only way I can see to go forward. Action, change some prices, change some titles, fix some images, double check your prices. Do sell similar if you have enough items that are free, you can list for free, and then go from there. Hammer your store all you can. Any action on there, anything you can get, and constantly keep listing. It's the best way to get something going on in my book. But anyway, have a good evening, and I thank you all very kindly. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, please smash the thumbs up. Give some love to the channel. Show some thank you for us, and hope you enjoy it.